Chapter 37. Veronica hasn't said a word. Carl is sitting in front of her staring at her. Every time she looks away from him, he slaps her on her head, forcing her to look at him. I know all about how you got hooked on drugs. I have already dealt with one of the assholes. The other one will be taken care of tonight. You already know that I know about all those bastards that you fucked. Damn it, Ronnie, I never mistreated you. Hell, if anything, I pampered your ass too much. You never lacked for a damn thing. You knew from the start about the shit that I did for a living. I never kept that side hidden from you. He stands up and walks away from her. How dare you try to get another man to raise my child? I can't believe you even had the nerves to name him Jensen. After one of your damn lovers, he hits the wall. She starts crying. What are you going to do to me? She is wiping her tears with her shirt sleeve, looking at him. Carl turns to look at her. Nothing yet. But I am going to take Christina's advice. That is to have a DNA test. Your ass better starts praying right now that he is my son. If not, be prepared for the consequences. I promise you they will not be anything pretty. Get off your ass, bring me my son. Go into the kitchen and cook dinner. He walks over to the recliner. Veronica didn't waste any time walking out of the room to do as she was told. Please let Bradley be Carl's son. I don't want to die or be sold. It's obvious that he knows Jensen and that bitch. By the way, they were talking. But how? She is thinking. Natalie is still in her bedroom. But she heard everything that was said. He seems to have cared about Veronica. Did I misjudge him? Hell, he did get her off her ass to cook. That's something I can't even do, she is thinking, at the hospital. After forcing himself away from Destiny and Christy, Jensen walks into the waiting room to announce that Destiny has arrived. He sees the way David and his mother are looking at one another. He doesn't like, but he decides that he will deal with that another day. Today is all about Christy and Destiny. The loves of my life, he is thinking. Is J-Lo here? Cliff look at Jay smiling. No. But Miss Destiny Storm Holden is here. She is beautiful and healthy. Destiny weighs 6 pounds and 10 ounces. She and Christy both are fine. Jensen is smiling and feeling so proud. Eddie laughs looking at Cliff. Christy has told you about that J-Lo stuff. He points at Cliff, that's my J-Lo. Cliff is thinking Robbie and David are walking over to Jensen to hug him. Oscar and Mavis are standing back, neither one has said anything. Oscar knows about David because Robbie told him. She didn't want to hide anything from him. After Robbie introduces Oscar to Jensen, everyone goes to meet Miss Destiny. David walks over to Christy. How are you feeling? Oh, I am okay, Father. I can't believe that she is this perfect. Christy kisses Destiny's head. Then she looks up at him smiling. Jensen, David, Cliff, Eddie, and Robbie look at her. She has never called David's father before. They are surprised. But Jensen knew that she would sooner or later. He wasn't expecting it today. David is smiling. She is perfect and beautiful. As you were when you were born. David is still smiling as Christy is handing him Destiny. I wish your grandmother were here to meet you. But she will always be watching over you. he whispers, looking at Destiny, smiling. Robbie is smiling, looking at Destiny. Don't hog her now. I want to hold our granddaughter. She walks beside David and takes her from him. She is beautiful. Jensen smiles as he introduces Christy to Oscar. So far I like him, Jensen is thinking. He had Cliff run a background check him out. He seems to be on the up and up. After Robbie's last choice of man, he doesn't want to take any more chances. Oscar, we will have to invite you and my mother over to dinner. When Christy is feeling better. I would like that. Oscar nods his head, smiling. Christy smiles at the man and nods her head at Robbie, giving her approval. Then her attention goes on Mavis. We didn't expect that our second meeting would be like this. It's good to see you again. No, we didn't, but I am glad that I am here. Your daughter is beautiful. Mavis sits down, looking at David. He is walking over to her. Thank you, Christy and Jensen said in unison. About that time, Vicky walks into the room. She looks around the room at everyone. Why am I the last one here? Shit. I forgot to call you. Cliff rubs his face. Yep, if I wouldn't have gone to the house I still wouldn't be here. Vicky looks at Cliff, then at Destiny. Oh, she is so beautiful. Looking at her almost makes me want one. Now that is something I want to see. Christy looks at Vicky. Jensen looks at Christy. He can tell that she's tired. He leans down, kisses Christy's cheek. You should get some rest. I will take care of her. Well, besides the feeding part. He points at Christy's breast with his head. She laughs. Daddy's house. Now that they are back at home. Daddy still hasn't played or talked to Mary. It's as if she isn't even there. Daddy put her in her room as soon as they arrived. He had Josie the maid to take Mary her meals. Mary has been trying to figure out why he is ignoring her all of a sudden. Usually, when Daddy is upset with me, he just punishes me and done. But something is different about Daddy now. She is thinking as she is eating. Mary is looking around her room, which is full of toys. Damn, he could have at least put a TV in here, she mumbles. The door opens, she sees Daddy walking into the room. He sits down, not saying anything. He is just looking at her. Daddy looks at his watch, then back at her. Mary, the first am trying to decide what to do with you. You don't satisfy my needs. You never did. Mary, you are worthless. I paid a lot of money for you. I do not return any of my babies. So that is not an option. You are not allowed out of this room. You will have to take care of yourself. Why, Daddy? She asks, trying to look pitiful. Truth be told, Mary, I just don't want you anymore. Daddy walk out of the room. What in the hell does he mean he doesn't want me anymore? Hell, all men want me. He is no exception, she is thinking as she is looking at the door close. Raheem is sitting on the sofa. Sutton walks over and sits beside him. Have you made your mind up about her? Raheem is massaging Sutton's shoulders. Yes, we will kill her soon. But I don't want to look at her right now. So far now we will keep her locked in her room. Sutton points at Mary's door. No more babies for me. It's just you and me from now on. Raheem kisses the back of Sutton's neck. About damn time, he is thinking. David and Mavis. David had planned a romantic dinner for him and Mavis. But he will have to do that another night since it's late. They are just leaving the hospital. Jensen made everyone leave so Christy could get some rest. So they pick something up to eat for dinner. He calls Linda to check on the twins. Linda tells him that the twins fell asleep right after he called to let them know that Chris had given birth. Also, to leave them with her and Floyd for tonight. Mavis notices that he is still smiling. She is thinking that it's because he is a grandfather. Did you hear my little girl? Chris called me father. I never thought I would hear her say that. Davis looks at her smiling. Mavis touches his hand. Yes, I heard her. So she must have forgiven you. I hope so. I need to explain Robbie to you. She is my legal wife, but we have not been together in a while. Yes, before you ask. She and I are in the process of getting a divorce. David wants to be honest with her. David, that is all I need to know. From here on out, the only thing that I care about is our future. Mavis leans over and kisses David's cheek. Sweetheart, I promise you I will not let you down again. He leans over to kiss her. Back at Natalie's house. Carl is in the living room. He even gave Bradley a bath, read him a bedtime story after tucking him in bed. Veronica has been quiet. She is wondering when is he leaving. She hopes that it's soon. Natalie has seen a side of Veronica that she has never seen. Veronica actually acted like a good mother and wife. Damn, he sure has made himself at home. Is he planning on leaving or staying? She is thinking but dared to ask him. Carl walks into the hall. He is on his phone talking to someone. As he is walking back into the den, Ronnie, tomorrow, you and Bradley be ready at 10. We are going to have that test done. If he is mine, you and he will be moving back home. I am telling you, not asking you. Don't try to run away during the night. I have men outside watching you. Wait a minute. What about me? I have taken care of your wife and son for years. Natalie looks at Carl. If he is my son, then you will be compensated. If not, you will not get a damn thing from me. Ronnie, I have some business to take care of. In the morning, cook him a decent breakfast. Not a damn bowl of cereal. That means you cook it, not your mother. Carl is looking at Veronica. Veronica is looking at him, nodding her head repeatedly. Okay, she is looking at Carl walking out the front door. Damn, he got your ass under control. I see you didn't talk back to him as you do to me. Natalie walks over to the window. She sees 2 black Tahoes sitting in front of her house. Shit. He wasn't kidding. Girl, you are not going anywhere tonight. Natalie is looking at Carl driving off in a black Navigator. Your husband has money. Your ass is out here trying to con another man. How stupid can you be? Natalie yells. Mother, I just want to go to bed. I have to get up early in the morning to cook breakfast. Good night. Veronica walks out of the room. Damn, she changed just that quick. That is not my daughter. Natalie is looking at Veronica, shaking her head. At the meat slandering plant. A man wakes up. He is hanging by his hands on a rack. He looks around the room. He sees the half sides of cows hanging everywhere. He starts yelling for help. Nobody came into the room. He has been trying to unhook his hands, but he is not having any luck. So he gives up. An hour passed when he hears a man's voice. So Clay, you and dumbass cousin used my wife. Carl is walking over to him. Clay is looking at Carl scared. No man, not me. It wasn't me. Carl, you know that I would never go against you. It was all Lee's. She was the one that threatened Veronica and ran her away from home. She forced me into helping her. So that is why Ronnie left all of a sudden. But the drug thing is on both of you. Carl is picking up a steel rod. I am going to kill you the way they kill cows. Carl rams the steel rod in the middle of Clay's forehead. Jensen and Christy. Christy is sleeping, Jensen is rocking Destiny. Your mommy did great. I am very proud of her. She is brave and smart. You will be the same as she is. You and I both are very lucky to have her. He kisses his daughter's forehead. He didn't know that Christy is awake. She opens her eyes looking at him. No, I am the lucky one. I love you and our daughter so much. Jensen walks over to the bed. He sits down. We love you too. He kisses the side of her head. Destiny starts stretching and crying. Sweetheart, I believe our Destiny is hungry. He lays their daughter in Christy's arms. Christy smiles. I am going to love being a wife and mother. She starts breastfeeding Destiny. I will always be here to love and protect you too always. My beautiful wife-to-be and daughter. Jensen is looking at Christy and Destiny. She rubs their daughter's head. Babe, we know you will. Chapter 38. After leaving the hospital, Robbie and Oscar stops at IHOP to eat. Robbie is still excited about being a grandmother. She hasn't stopped smiling. After what I did. Jensen and Chris still allowed me to be there on their special day. I am so thankful for that. She is thinking. After meeting David, Oscar is curious about him. Robbie, you told me about you and David. But have you divorced him yet? I noticed that way that he was watching you. Robbie smiles, nodding her head. Not yet. But I talked with an attorney the day he walked out on me. So that is processing as we speak. Which I hope will be final soon. Good, because I am not letting you get away from me this time. Oscar reaches for her hand. Leans over the table, kisses the back of it. Robbie blushes. Oh my, I haven't felt this way since Brandon. But my son has to approve him first. I can't afford to be tricked again. She is thinking. Sydney and Avery. Avery is still mad at himself for sleeping with Veronica behind Jensen's back. He knows the only reason that he slept with her was that he had too much to drink. Since that night he hasn't drunk alcohol anymore. Avery doesn't want to lose Jensen's friendship. Jensen has always been a good friend to him. He wants to sit down and talk to Jensen, hoping that he will forgive him. But he doesn't know how to reach him besides through his mother. Avery decides that he would talk to Robbie and ask her to ask Jensen to call him. So he and Cindy drove to Robbie's house. But she wasn't there. He left a note and his phone number. Sydney didn't talk much on the way. She is still relieved that Veronica's son isn't Avery. He has been talking to her, but she hasn't heard anything that he said. Avery touches her arm. Sweetheart, are you still upset about this Veronica and her son stuff? She shakes her head. No, not at all. I was just thinking about her. She tried to use her son to make a profit. Women like that don't deserve kids. Actually, I was wondering who is his father. That is a good question. But who knows? Probably one of those men that she sold herself to. You know, she became a call girl right before she quit college. Avery pats Sydney's hand before he drives out of Robbie's driveway. No, I didn't know that. Sydney changes the subject. She knows that Avery's mind is on Jensen. I hope that he will forgive you. I hope so. Jensen and I have been through a lot together. Avery takes a deep breath. She is digging in her purse for something, then she stops, then she looks at him. How did he meet Christina? Now that is a good question. We came home for Christmas break. Then he quit school and moved in with her. So the hell if I know. I have always wondered about that myself. Avery is looking straight ahead but is thinking about that. The next morning, Christy is feeding Destiny. Jensen is laying beside her asleep. Cliff is asleep on the fold-out sofa bed sleeper. She doesn't know when Cliff came into the room. She thought that he had gone home. But she should have known he wouldn't leave her, Jensen, and his J-Lo unprotected. She is looking at Cliff while Destiny is eating. Why does he insist on calling her J-Lo? She is wondering. Jensen wakes up, he kisses her arm, looking at their daughter. Good morning. Good morning. When did Cliff come in here? She points toward the cot. Jay laughs. About 10 minutes after you went to sleep. He had left to get him and me something to eat. You know he has to have his midnight snacks. True. Linda texted me. She said that Floyd is on his way to bring you and Cliff some clothes and some breakfast. She said that Cliff texted her what food to bring. He said he doesn't want to eat any hospital food. She is looking at Jay taking their daughter. He lays Destiny over his shoulder, burping her. I like Oscar. But I am concerned about our parents. Do you think Chester can find a way to speed up their divorce? I don't know if my mother has filed. I hope she has. Oscar does seem to be a nice man. I will talk to Chester to see what he can do. You talk to your mother. Christy is looking out of the window at the sky. She is thinking about her mother. How she wished her mother was here to hold her little Destiny. Jensen looks at her. I know, sweetheart. I was thinking the same thing about my father. But they will always be watching over her. He kisses the side of her head. Natalie house. When Natalie walks into the kitchen, Veronica is already in there. She is cooking some bacon, scrambled eggs, and waffles. Damn, she actually is in here cooking. Natalie is pouring a cup of coffee. She walks over to Bradley, who is sitting in his high chair. Veronica hasn't said anything. She is busy cooking. Girl, your ass is on the ball. Damn, you even have my grandson dressed already. Natalie is looking at Bradley. He is drinking some milk out of his sippy cup. I am beginning to believe that your father and I were wrong about Carl. He seems to be the only one that can make you get off of your ass and be a good mother. Even you are dressed and have makeup on. What time did you get up? How did you even go to bed? Veronica looks at her watch as she sits down to feed her son. Carl said 10, but he will come early. He always does that. Mother, please be on your best behavior. Don't egg my husband on. Natalie looks at her daughter. Don't egg your husband on. Hell, you are the one that needs to watch your smart-ass mouth. Because I got me. You just worry about yourself. The doorbell rings. Veronica jumps looking toward the hole. It's for you. Natalie points toward the front of the house. She sips her coffee. Who is she to tell me how to act? Her ass needs to be praying that the test comes back showing that Carl is Bradley's father. That's what she should be concerned about. Telling me not to egg her damn husband on. She has lost her mind. I am her mother, she isn't mine. She is thinking. Carl walks into the kitchen. Good morning. He looks at Bradley smiling. Hey little buddy, he walks over to the little boy and kisses the top of his head. The little boy is looking up at Carl smiling. Good morning. Natalie takes a sip of her coffee. She made her mind up that she was just going to observe the two of them. She is looking at Veronica. She is at the stove fixing Carl a plate. Carl looks at Veronica as she walks over beside him. He looks at what she is wearing. You look good, Ronnie. This is the way I want you to look every day. I can't have you walking around the house looking messy. Veronica smiles, then she sits down to continue to feed her son. She is wearing a pair of white skinny jeans, a red sleeveless blouse, and a pair of red sandals. She is wearing her hair down. Natalie smiles. Go ahead, Miss Manners. She is thinking, looking at her daughter. You and Bradley will be moving home today. If he isn't my son, I will not stop until I find that bastard that is. Then I will kill him. After that, I will deal with you. Carl didn't look at her or her mother. He kept eating. Natalie looks at her daughter. She is curious about where does he live. So she has to ask him. Everything else that he said she is not concerned about. As her mother, I would like to know where do you live. Sure, that is not a problem. I own a house on Dynasty Drive in Bel Air. Carl looks at Natalie. Oh, okay. Natalie looks at Veronica. That is an expensive-ass neighborhood. Why was her ass living with me? I am going to have to ask her about this shit one day. At least I will have my house to myself. She is thinking. After Carl is finished eating, he picks Bradley up. He walks out of the kitchen. Veronica is walking behind him. Veronica picks her purse up. Carl, how do you know Christina and Jensen? He turns to look at her smiling. We have done some business together. That is all you need and will ever know. Okay, she nods her head. Daddy's house. Mary is still in her room. Daddy still hasn't paid her any attention. Josie is the only person that has been in her room. That is only to bring her meals or to tell her to take a shower and go to bed. Mary is sitting in her crib. Hell, if he doesn't want me then he should let me go, she is thinking. Raheem walks into the room. He walks over to the crib. He laughs. Do you think that I don't know what you are up to? Mary looks at him trying to look innocent as if she doesn't know what he is talking about. Don't look at me like that. That shit does not work on me or Sutton. You know exactly what I am talking about. The keys at the resort. You were looking for them. My clothes, you moved them. Raheem lays his hand on the crib, looking at her. The baby shit is dead, just as you will be soon. By the way, I know all about you and your con shit. He walks out of her room. His clothes, the bastard knew about me looking in his shirt. Shit, I have to run away tonight. If not, Raheem will probably kill me in my sleep. She is looking at the window. She looks back at the door as she climbs out of her crib. Mary speed walks to the window. She presses her head on the window. She is trying to see how far is the ground from her room. She is on the second floor. Shit, that is a long way down. She mumbles while looking around the room. Her eyes land on her sheets. She remembers that there are extra sheets in the drawer. Mary tries to raise the window, but it's sealed up. Shit, the bastard used flex shot. She whispers yell as she is looking around the room. She smiles when she sees her fork on her plate. Josie hasn't picked her breakfast tray up yet. Yep, that's it. Tonight I am busting out of this hellhole. She is thinking. She smiles as she climbs back into her crib. Daddy is in his office working. He looks up when Raheem walks. You have been threatening that thing. Yes. Raheem laughs, nodding his head. The bitch is planning to escape soon. I hope the conversation that she and I just had speeded it up. I am going to let her ass escape on the first try. I am not going to play with her like I did the last one. I already have Lenny outside to follow her. I am curious as to where she will go. Raheem is still laughing. That is if she makes it to the ground in one piece. This is the fun part for you. You love the hunt. Sutton laughs. Raheem lays his hands on Sutton's shoulders. Yes, the torture part is the best. I despise her so much, who knows how I will kill her. Later that evening. Robbie has been at the hospital for almost 2 hours. She gave Jensen the note from Avery. She noticed that he didn't read it. He stuffs it in his pocket. I wonder what is going on with those two. They have been friends since kindergarten. She is thinking. Mother, have you filed for a divorce? He asks, looking at her. Robbie looks up from Destiny. Yes, I have. I am hoping that David will sign it without any problems. Christy looks at her. Don't worry about that, my father will sign it. She looks at the door that is opening. She sees David walking into the room. He is carrying a large brown and white teddy bear. Christy is looking at the bear. She remembers she has a bear similar to that. It's upstairs in the attic. She had it since she was a little girl. David sees the way that she is looking at the bear. Does this remind you of Bobo? Yes, how did you know about him? Christy is smiling, looking at the bear. David sits the large bear in the empty chair. Because I gave him to you the day you were born. Mel named it Bobo because when she was pregnant with you. I would say that you are my little Bobo. Well, now our Destiny has her own Bobo. Christy smiles. Thank you, Father. She is going to love it. Then she looks at Robbie. I am sure your ears were burning. Her father looks at her a little confused. As he walks over to Robbie. Can I hold our granddaughter for a few? Robbie hands Destiny to him. We are going to spoil her. Yes, we are. David looks over at his daughter. Jensen sits down beside Christy. We were discussing you and Mother's divorce. It seems that you and Mavis's relationship is going well. David looks up from Destiny looking at him. Yes, it is. Tomorrow she and I are taking the twins to Kidspace Museum. Good, because I like her. I also like Oscar. Now we just have to get you two divorced. Which I am assuming will not be a problem. Christy is looking at her father. David shakes his head. No. It's time for Robbie and me to start living. She has a new man in her life. I have a new woman in my life. Robbie smiles. I also like Mavis. She seems to be a good person. Just don't screw it up. Oscar seems to also be a good person. Don't worry. I have learned my lesson. Isn't that right, Destiny? Your grandfather is a new man. Thanks to your mommy and daddy. J-Lo, it seems that you might be getting a new grandmother and grandfather soon. Cliff whispers. Christy shakes her head at Cliff. I am not going there with you today. Besides, Jay and I have a wedding to plan. She smiles. Jensen wraps his arms around her. Big or small, I don't care, we can get married anywhere you want. Just as long as you marry me. He leans in closer to her, placing his lips against hers. She wraps her arms around him. Too soon for all of that. Cliff laughs. Jensen leans his head back, looking at her, smiling. I loved you the first time I saw you walked through that door. I loved you the moment I saw you on my computer. She smiles and gives him a peck on the lips. Chapter 39. After David and Robbie left, Christy and Destiny fall asleep. Jensen and Cliff are watching TV. But Jay is mostly looking at his beautiful family. Cliff looks at him. He sees the way Jensen is smiling, looking at them. You know, I found out something a few days later after you came home. Chris doesn't know that I know this. But she had her banker on standby in case the bid on you were more than the millions that she had in her that case. I am not sure how much she had it in there. I know that some money was still in the case. Jensen looks at Cliff for a second. Then he looks at back Christy and Destiny. She said that I was coming home with her regardless of how much she had to pay. That first night she told me that I could leave if I wanted to. He smiles, looking at Christy. But I couldn't find it in my heart to leave her. I thank God every day for her. Not just because she saved me, but for loving me so easily and unconditionally. Now I have a beautiful green-eyed daughter. To be honest, I would love to have at least 2 more little ones running around the house. You know, I believe that is one thing that you will get. Now we just have to get through the wedding. I sure as hell hope Chris doesn't turn into a bridezilla. Are you going to read that letter? Cliff points at Jay's pocket with his head. Jensen nods his head. It's from Avery. He and I were like brothers. I am mad at him for screwing behind me. Brothers and best friends don't do that. It's not about Veronica. Hell, I didn't and still don't care who she sleeps with. Since he did it once, he sure as hell will do it again. If he ever tried anything with that beautiful woman that is laying over there, I would kill him in a heartbeat without any remorse. I know that Christy would never betray me. But I would kill Avery for trying. He walks over to pick up Destiny. She is waking up. Cliff is looking at him. Damn, Jay has been hanging around me too much. This is the second man that he has threatened to kill over Chris. He is thinking. Daddy's house. Mary has been listening out to make sure that Daddy and Raheem are asleep. She hasn't heard any noise or movements in the last hour or so. Josie came in 2 hours ago to pick up her dinner tray and told Mary to go to bed. But Daddy still hasn't visited her. Nor has she seen him since they came back from the Daddy's resort. Raheem has been doing all of the talking. She climbs out of her crib, tying some sheets together. She spent most of the day scrapping flecks shot off of the window, so she can open it. Once she had finished tying the sheets together, she tiptoes over to the door, laying her head against it. She smiles when she doesn't hear the TV on. Mary didn't waste any time making her over to the window. She looks out of it before she drops the sheets down. Mary starts sliding down then sheets, but doesn't have enough to make it to the ground. Damn, she mumbles as she jumps. Mary falls on her legs, and her ankle is hurt. She looks around to make sure that Daddy or Raheem didn't see her. She takes off running down up the driveway. Daddy and Raheem are in their bedroom watching TV. When Raheem's cell phone rings, he laughs when he sees Lenny's name on it. Phone conversation. Raheem, please tell me that bitch gone. Lenny, yep, she is running down the street in a diaper and t-shirt. She keeps looking back while she is running. She must have hurt her leg, because she is limping. Laughs. Raheem, keep me posted. I will give her a few days, so she will think that she is free. Lenny, okay. But this is some funny shirt. Peoples are driving by blowing their horns at her. Raheem, record her with your phone for us. That is some must-see shit there. Lenny, you got it, end of call. Raheem is laughing when he hangs the phone up. He tells Sutton what Larry told him about Mary. Sutton starts laughing. All at once, he stops laughing. I wonder where in the hell is she running to? Raheem is massaging Sutton's back. I don't know, but I sure as hell will find out. Mary/Tiffany. As she is running down the street, she is holding her thumb out trying to catch a ride. Finally, she gives up. Where in the hell is David living? Shit, I have nowhere to go. I can't call Carl. He will probably sell me again. She is talking out loud. No way in hell am I calling the police. They will only lock my ass up on murder charges. I am so fucked right now. She is looking behind her. Mavis, I will go to her house. I will break into the apartment over her garage. If she catches me, then I will just have to kill her. David better not be fucking that bitch. Mary is thinking as she stops holding her chest, catching her breath. She is looking around her surrounding. Where in the hell am I at? She yells. I don't know where you're at. Hell, I am lost too. But I can take you heaven. A man holding his crotch is walking toward her. You can even call me Daddy. He points at her diaper. No, I don't want to go heaven. I have had enough daddies to last me a lifetime. She starts running back the way they came. Then she runs across the street, looking back at the man. He is walking in the opposite direction. Now to find my way to Mavis's house. Lenny is driving far behind her, laughing at her. Why didn't her dumb ass put on some pants? She probably would have caught a ride. He shakes his head. She has been running for a while. She can't take another step. Not to mention that she is lost. Maybe I should find a place to sleep for a couple of hours. Start over in the morning. It seems like I am running in circles. Damn, she is looking at a street sign that she has seen twice. Mary walks over to the park. She sits on a bench. Looking around. I never thought I would be sleeping on a park bench. She mumbles as she lays down. Lenny is standing not too far from her behind a tree. When he heard her say that she is sleeping there, he walks back to his car. Too bad Raheem doesn't want her dead yet. She is going to be an easy hunt. He is thinking. Christy and Jensen's house. Linda noticed that David has been quiet since he came home from the hospital. She looks over at the twins. They are coloring. Is anything wrong with Chris and Destiny? No, not at all. Chris called me father for the first time. I know that the twins call me that all the time. But it was different when she said it. David smiles. That is a moment that I will always cherish. They should be home tomorrow. I stopped on my way home to pick up the banner that I ordered. Eddie is on his way with some balance. He and I are decorating the entry tonight. Since I am taking the twins for an outing tomorrow, I am not sure if we will be back when they come home. Can you take some pictures for me? David is looking at the large banner. Yes, no problem, Grandpa. Linda laughs. You and Mavis seem to be doing good. Have you thought about what you will do if Tiffany comes back? Grandpa. I like the sound of that. But as far as Tiffany is concerned, all the feelings that I had for her are gone. Mavis is my and the twins' future. David looks at the twins. Can we go see Chris, Jensen, and Destiny? Lane rolls over on her back, looking over her head at David. No, hopefully, all three will be home tomorrow. But Mavis and I are taking you two out for a while. He looks at the twins to see what their reaction will be. Lakin walks over to him. She lay her arm on his shoulder. Is Miss Mavis your girlfriend? He looks at Linda for help. But she walks out of the room laughing. Well, twin, I guess you can say that. I never thought about it. But yes, Miss Mavis is my girlfriend. Good, we like her, Lakin and Lane said in unison. Both of them start back coloring. Tiffany. I don't care to ever see your crazy ass again. Wherever in the hell she is, her ass better stay there. The twins are happy, not acting nervous. Chris seems to be less stressed. He is thinking. Carl and Veronica. Veronica had given Bradley his bath and put him to bed. She is sitting in the family room watching TV. Damn, I miss my beautiful house. She whispers, looking around the room. Carl walks into the room. He is just coming home from an auction that he had earlier this evening. Did Bradley and you eat dinner? Yes, we did. He ate really good tonight. I set your plate in the microwave. Veronica is walking to the kitchen. Carl is walking behind her. We should have the results tomorrow. Since Dr. Connors is my private physician and I told him to rush it. Either way, his first name has to go. Veronica is standing in front of the microwave as his food is heating. Ronnie, if you cheat on me or leave me again, I will kill you. If anyone comes to you with some bullshit about me or tries to force you to leave, tell me about it. Don't leave. I told you that I will always protect you. Come to find out, Lee stole my money, then she set you up to take the fall. He is sitting at the table waiting for his plate. That bitch. Veronica turns to look at Carl. He points at her. That is why you have to trust me. She and her damn cousin Clay are gone. Neither one is coming back. Calvin will be your driver. You do not leave this house without him. Ronnie, if you fuck him, you and he will die together. Do I make myself clear? Yes. She sits his plate on the table. Another thing, as of right now, I don't want to hear Jensen or Christina's name come to of your mouth. He points his knife at her. This is good. I see you haven't lost your cooking skills. It feels good to have dinner at home. Carl smiles. What is it about him, Jensen, and that bitch? She is thinking. Carl looks up at her. Ronnie, tonight I need a lot of loving. It's been a long time. She is in the refrigerator. She didn't say anything, but nods her head. Veronica takes a deep breath before she turns to look at him. Carl is already walking out of the kitchen, going upstairs. One thing I can say about Carl. He never beat around the bush. It's a damn good thing that I love making love to him. She is cleaning his plate off of the table. Chapter 40. Early the next morning, Carl and Veronica are in bed wrapped around one another. Bradley is standing on Carl's side of the bed looking at him. He pokes Carl back a few times until Carl turns over to look at him. Hey buddy, Carl picks the little boy up. You ready to eat breakfast? Bradley smiles, shaking his empty sippy cup. Okay, let's wake mommy up so she can get you something to drink and cook. Carl is rubbing Veronica's hair. She didn't waste any time sliding her robe on and walking to the bathroom. As soon as she closes the bathroom door, Carl hugs Bradley. You look exactly like me when I was around your age. I knew the moment that I saw you that was my son. But I want to be 100% sure. But regardless of what the results are, you will always be my son. He stops talking, looking at the bathroom door to make sure that Veronica was walking out. The reason why is because I love your mom so much. But don't tell her that I said that. Bradley laughs as if he knew what Carl said. Carl's cell phone rings. He looks at the clock on the nightstand to see what time it is. It's almost 10 o'clock. I didn't realize it's that late. No wonder you came in here to get us. He looks at Bradley. He picks up his phone. The call didn't take too long. Veronica walks out of the bathroom when he is hanging up. Son, go with mommy while I shower. Carl kisses the little boy's forehead as he hands him to her. We will go shopping today. I don't like CJ walking around the house alone. He looks at her. You look good, Ronnie. Veronica is wearing a long red maxi dress. Thank you. She smiles as she is walking out the door. CJ. Where did that come from? She is thinking. Carl is looking at the little boy. My son, 99.99%. Damn. I'm going to make sure that he doesn't do the things that I do. But I have to change Junior's name. He is thinking. Mary Tiffany. Mary is sleeping on a bench. She turns over. She falls onto the ground. She jumps up looking around. Then she takes off running. Lenny laughs as she is running down the sidewalk. She finally sees a building that is familiar. People are still looking at her because of the way she is dressed. But she doesn't care. Mary looks back. She sees a car that she saw last night. Oh no, Raheem is behind me, she yells. But she looks at the man. She sees that it's not him. But I am sure that is the same car. She is thinking as she turns down the street that Mavis lives on. Let's see what you are up to, Lenny mumbles as he parks the car on the side of the road. He is looking at her hiding behind some bushes looking at a house. She runs behind another bush, then up a driveway. He steps out of his car, walks down the street to get a closer look. Mary is running down Mavis's driveway to the apartment that she and the twins lived in. Then she runs up the stairs. She turns the doorknob, but it is locked. Damn, she mumbles. She runs back down the stairs picking up a rock. She runs back up, breaks the window to unlock it. Then she climbs through it. This crazy woman broke into someone's apartment, he mumbles as he calls Raheem. Phone conversation. Raheem, what is the nut doing now? Lenny, she broke into an apartment over somebody's garage. But I'm sure that she knows the person. It's not a random place. Raheem, text me the address. I will send Andy is relieve you. I have to find out who this person is. If they help her then they will die too. Lenny, it's a car in the driveway. Raheem, send me the tag number. End of call. Lenny walks back to his car, moving it so he can see the apartment. Mary, Tiffany, whatever your damn name is, you're about to die and probably get an innocent person killed. He is thinking. Christy and Jensen's house. Welcome home, Linda, Floyd, Vicky, and all the men that work for Christy and Jensen yell. They are looking at Jensen. He is carrying Christy and Destiny into the house. It's good to be home, Christy laughs looking at the banner, balloons, and flowers. Linda sees her looking at them smiling. David and Eddie did this last night. He wanted to make sure that it was done before you came. Linda takes Destiny from her. Jensen looks at Linda funny. She is walking into the den. That's right, he and Mavis are taking the twins out today. Okay, Vicky, what is going on at the company? I know that look. Chris is looking at her. Jensen is carrying her into the den. Vicky, you have 10 minutes to talk business. Then Christy is going to rest. This concerns you too. Your line has sold out everywhere. Stores are doubling their normal orders. Some of them are requesting that you make a special appearance at their stores as a promotion. Vicky is looking at Linda and Destiny. Jensen sits down beside Christy. Well, I don't have a problem with that. If Christy thinks it's a good idea. But I will not go anywhere without her and Destiny. That was the good news. Now for some disturbing news. Anthony is requesting a meeting with Chris. Vicky is still looking at Jensen. Anthony. What in the hell does he want? Jensen looks at Vicky, then at Christy. Christy is looking at Vicky, waiting for an answer. She is wondering the same thing. They haven't heard from him since he called to ask her for a date. Vicky takes a deep breath. I think that he is full of shit. His company is in trouble. So Valerie has finally shown her true face. So I figured that he is going to either ask for a loan or try to get your fiancé back. She is looking at Jensen, nodding her head. Tell that asshole that Christy and I will meet with him. If he doesn't want to meet with both of us, then that's fine with us. But he will not be meeting with my fiancé alone. I knew that day at the theater he was going to be a problem. Jensen is clenching his fist and he is frowning. Cliff is looking at Jensen. Oh shit. Anthony needs to watch out. He is thinking Christy is looking at Jay. I agree with my fiancé and my business partner. Business partner? Vicky and Jay asks in unison. Yep, my business partner. We will share business and diaper duty. She rubs Jay's hand. The store promotion is a great idea. Vicky, you talk to the advertising department to arrange everything. As Jay said, Destiny and I will be traveling with him. But do not schedule anything until Aunt Pat releases me. Sweetheart, are you sure about this partner thing? Jensen leans closer to her. Yes, Jay, I am sure. We have our little Destiny to think about. If something happens to me, then you need to be there to run the company. Now that's settled. Linda, I need some bridal catalogs. We have a wedding to plan. Christy is looking at Cliff. Linda smiles. I already have some. I laid them on your nightstand. Alrighty then. When do you want to meet with that asshole? Vicky looks at Jensen. Here at the house in 3 days for lunch. That jerk is not getting my family. Jay is picking Christy. Anthony. He is in his office reading his bank statements. That bitch. Valerie tricked the hell out of me. Her ass pretended to have money. Didn't have a penny to her damn name. She was only in the circle of friends that Chris was because of Chris. They all ousted her ass out as soon as Chris ended their friendship. But the whole time that we were together she was stealing from my family's company. How did I let her trick me? Christina is a gold mine. My family wouldn't be in this hardship if I wouldn't have started fucking her behind Chris's back. Valerie came after me the same day that Chris introduced us. I turned her day a few times. But that night when she showed up at my condo with only a coat on, I couldn't resist her anymore. I planned on only fucking her one time. But she kept coming back, so I got caught up. That day when Chris walked in on Valerie and me, it had to have been planned. The more I thought about it. But that is over and done with. I can't change the past. Now I need to find out more about Jensen Holder. Where in the hell did he come from? He sure as hell won her heart fast. He is thinking. Valerie walks into his office laughing at him. So what are you going to do now since you are about to file for bankruptcy? You evil bitch. He yells, pointing at her. How could you be so fucking evil? She walks over to his desk. I gave you what you wanted. Something that Christina wouldn't. So I consider the use of my body is worth every penny. You sure as hell wasn't complaining when you were moaning. Get the hell out of my house. Lois is packing your shit as we speak. I will not lose my company. But the day that I fucked you was the worst day of my life. As far as Christina, you will never be half the woman that she is. Now get the fuck out of my sight. Maybe I won't. But you will never have her now. Haven't you heard that she and Jensen just had a little girl? Good luck, you worthless bastard. Valerie walks out the door laughing. Anthony sits back into his chair shaking his head. I am so fucking screwed. Mavis' house. Tiffany found a few t-shirts and a pair of yoga pants in a drawer that she had left. So after taking a hot shower, she ate a can of spaghetti and meatballs that were in the cabinet. Thank God that old woman didn't cleaned out the cabinet or throw my clothes away. She is thinking as she looks out of the window. She sees David and the twins pulling into the driveway. What are they doing here? She spoke out loud. Then she sees Mavis meeting them in the driveway. David kisses Mavis, the twins wrap their arms and legs around her legs. That bitch stole my family. She will pay for that. Tiffany yells.